Hello and welcome to another week of the Newman Show. I have Paul Baum with me tonight.
Hi, everybody.
And we're gonna get into some stuff tonight.
Yeah. I try not to make it political at the same time.
But unfortunately, at this point, I think it is.
It has to be.
Just so you guys know, we're going to talk about the inequality in comedy, and I really don't know what the line is, and we're going to see if we can figure that out tonight. I know Shane Gillis thinks he figured it out, but I don't know if he's right.
Yeah, I just think that. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. I just want to say. Best wishes to Cyclone. I know he's not doing well. He used to have the show before us in the cage with Cyclone. I'm hoping to hear from him soon. I know last time I heard from him it was getting worse. His issues, which are personal, so I'm not going to really talk about them. But I'm
wishing him well. Wrestling show?
He does in the cage. It's a little bit of everything. He does wrestling,
okay,
MMA.
Yeah. I thought it was like wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. He does talk wrestling.
Contact sports. Let's leave it at that.
And we had a nice surprise tonight. We had to Save Lives was on right before us. So.
Yes. They didn't. I don't think it aired, but I think they
it did.
Here. Oh, it did?
Yeah. Well, I think it
John
did.
LaRocca, the LAL crowd was here.
And it was nice because I heard him talking a little bit about 9/11, how he wasn't wearing a mask at first, and that was a show we did last week. I had my friend Mike on, who was there, and Christy Todd Whitman determined everything was safe and it was good to go. Yeah, so people, if they were wearing a mask, were wearing those little
the government lied
paper masks.
to them. Jeez,
yeah, what a shocker. Who would think the government would lie to anybody? But yeah, it's sad what they did to them, and not just the firefighters, but everybody who was in the city, the civilians and everything. They put everybody's lives at risk to make them look better.
Right.
And all they had to do was say, look, if they don't want to cause mass hysteria, and I said this numerous times, so I'll keep saying it, all they had to do was say, we're not sure, take every precaution.
Right.
Let people wear respirators, not stupid paper masks, which did absolutely nothing for them. Nothing. So, it's a shame people are dying because of their lies, which, again, is just typical of, But yeah, keep giving your rights away to the government. They'll save you.
Always protect yourself. That's why we're dependents during the show.
You too. All right, good. So it's not just me. I don't feel bad.
So if you smell something, it's not you.
Before I get into stuff, I always forget to promote myself, so I'm going to get that right out of the way. This Saturday is my last booked comedy gig for a little bit. I think I do have one more at the Irish Pub, just because it's the Irish Pub. They're a sponsor. I caught the gig, so
That's a Thursday too, right?
No, that's a Wednesday night.
Oh, Wednesday.
That's in November, but I'm doing Pat's show Saturday.
Oh, okay.
At the South Shore Theater in Lindenhurst.
That's right. That should be a cool little show.
I'm looking forward to that because that's going to be an interesting show because it's an actual theater. There's not going to be a mic or a mic stand.
There's no mic or mic stand. You got to use
your hands. Which I kind of use as part of my act. So I'm interested to see how I'm going to do my act without having that.
Well, you seem to have enough Italian in you to.
Yeah, and I gotta throw a shout out to Chris Cordona, I guess is how he says it. Because we're going to the Actors Workshop in Levittown, thanks to this guy who gives acting to comedy lessons here, which we'll talk about later too. But the acting lessons, I think, is definitely a good thing.
He's
taking acting lessons.
Well, yeah, he just started. That's why he's kind of tapering off on the comedy, so he can get his his act together.
I'm doing the Adult Ed Improv with your buddy Al Isaac starting.
Oh, you did that
Wednesday.
Too? Wow,
I start Wednesday, so I'm really trying to get myself more well-rounded, get myself out there.
Very cool.
That glare is there intentionally, Barry. It's the way I light Paul up so you can see his face. See, the acting's helping me get ready.
Yeah, that's it.
Got to be quick.
That's why I'm wearing a hat, so I don't reflect any more than we need to.
But without any further ado, let's pay some bills and then we'll get into the meat of this conversation. And we're going to start with Frank Zambuto and Kayla Logistics. Kayla Logistics, where your business is our priority. Our goal is to provide customers with end-to-end logistics solutions worldwide. Contact Frank Zambuto regarding all of your international import and export needs. Frank also has domestic contracts with many of the largest coast-to-coast trucking companies in the USA for non-personal cargo. For the Newman Show listeners, just mention the Newman Show, and Frank will take 10% off your first domestic trucking shipment in the USA. Frank Zambuto and K Logistics, where your business is our priority. And you can reach Frank direct at 347-536-3933 or email at frank@klogistics.com. Things are going crazy right now with China and tariffs and what's going on with this and that. Frank knows it all. I know he's on the phone daily with China, literally. So he knows the deal. Please call him. You got anything you need to ship anywhere, he's the guy to go to. We also want to talk about Jay Martin from Felon for Life Motorcycle Repair. Jay specializes in Harley, but will work on any bike, whether it needs mechanical stuff, you want to put aftermarket parts on there, whatever it is, he's the guy to go to. His thing, when he started this, he basically wanted to help people that really couldn't afford necessarily to be back on the road and offer cheaper prices, and especially vets. He's got a soft spot for veterans, and I know he's working on one guy's bike right now. He's taking donations of money or parts or whatever you can do for him, and he's getting this guy back on the road for free. For you veterans out there, I know you understand, but for those who aren't, especially if you're a combat vet, you go and you give your life away and you live in a certain type of life, then you try to come back to civilian life, and it's very stressful and it's hard to deal with, and a lot of them, their escape is getting on a motorcycle and riding.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense if you don't understand, but if you do, it makes perfect sense. It's called wind therapy for a reason, and I know they constantly make the jokes that you never see a motorcycle parked outside the psychiatrist's office.
Right.
So that's the way these guys get their stress relief. So please, if you can help Jay out with any donations or just give him a call if you need work on your bike. He does something that nobody else I've ever heard of does. You want to work on your own bike, you can bring it to him or call him and he'll help you out. Which most mechanics don't want you fixing your own stuff. They want to have money off you. Jay's not about the money. He's about getting people behind bars. Hence the Felon for Life. So definitely talk to Jay. Another good sponsor of ours, the Irish Pub in Baldwin. Sure, it is football season, and they get all the football deals going on during the NFL games. 60-cent wings. They got loaded potato skins for $8. Hot pretzel nuggets for $6. $13 sample patties. $2 hot dogs. $4 loaded hot dogs, which sounds good. I might have to get one of them Tuesday. They got beer specials. 250 pints of Bud Light, $5 Sam Adams Oktoberfest, and $5 Great South Bay Pumpkin, because it is pumpkin season. And pitcher-wise, you get $10 Bud Lights, $17 Shot Tops, and $17 Pumpkin. And that's just an awesome deal. There's always something going on there. I know he's got darts on Monday and Tuesday. Friday's karaoke starts at 10, and he also has an open bar from 10 to 12 for, I believe, $30, and you can't beat that deal anywhere. The food there is awesome. It's just a fun place to be. So definitely check out the Irish Pub in Baldwin. It's on Merrick Road, in between Millburn and Grand Avenue, closer to Grand Avenue. On the south side, if you have any idea about directions, because a lot of people, if I say south, I might as well speak Chinese. And, I did it. I'm segueing.
Wow.
And we're going to get into it now. Did I just make a racial? Is my Saturday Night Live career over now?
It's over.
Can I not apply?
It's over.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, we'll start right out with Shane Gillis, who got fired from Saturday Night Live.
Before he even got on it.
He got hired and got fired for racially insensitive jokes that he made on a podcast years ago.
I don't know how many years ago.
But it was years ago. It wasn't recently.
Yep.
The only crime I see in that is that it really wasn't funny what they were saying, in my opinion.
I saw the clip.
And I'm not saying he's not a funny guy, and I know comedy's subjective, which we'll talk about a little bit when we talk about your classes.
True.
But it's just, I don't understand. We're going to talk about Chappelle and Bill Burr in a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it was Bill Burr that said it. If you can't be a racist in comedy, where can you be? Can you flip burgers? Like, why does this guy have to lose his job? And I'm not even saying he's racist, because is it racist to make a comment?
It was Asian slang. It's like the worst Asian slang you could use. But I've used it in my act. I've used it in my act because it's a silly joke. A lot of people have. It's a silly joke. Here's what America's got to remember. It's not the words themselves, it's the intent behind the words.
Yes.
And because I'm not a Bill Burr or a
Dave Chappelle
or George Carlin, I set the table when I go up there, as you know. I say it's not going to be politically correct. We're going old school, going back to Buddy Hackett, Don Rickles, George Carlin. We're going back to a point when everybody had a sense of humor and everybody was a target.
I mean, honestly, I don't think George Carlin can make it now.
No, he would be out of his mind right now.
I mean, we're going back to the days of Lenny Bruce getting arrested for saying certain words on stage.
Yep.
This is where we're going to come again. You know, guys are going to they're already losing their jobs. And here's the thing, and not to promote racism, because, again, racism, in almost 2020, being racist is basically stupid at this point.
Yeah.
If you see that much of a difference in another race over your own, a superiority, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But with that being said, you know, is it illegal to be a racist? Should you not be able to make a living being a racist? And again, before you answer that, really, really think about that.
That's true. That's part of your freedom of speech.
Yeah, because then who would work? Because if you're taking something out of context, almost anybody could be looked at as a racist. Because things I'm hearing, what's considered a racist comment, don't even have race in them.
Yeah, right.
You know, calling someone a thug. I saw a supposed comic attack people on my page saying, "Oh, thug has a certain racial connotation." No, it doesn't. If you're putting it on it, you're the racist.
That's right.
Thank you. Exactly. So, you know, again, so if in someone's opinion, because right now all you need is the accusation, "Oh, he used thug, so he's a racist, so I should get fired from my job."
Yeah, it is ridiculous. And you know, I do stereotypes in my act, and stereotypes are definitely something that is not because one person is like that in that ethnic group. It's a lot of people, okay? So it becomes the thing. That's why it's stereo. It's not just one, it's two. At least two. So it's a stereotype. So I do Asian stereotypes, Spanish stereotypes, black stereotypes, everybody. I'm an equal opportunity destroyer.
But isn't that part of comedy, is to make fun of...
Somebody's got to take the hit. And that's what people got to grow up, and I say that. If I go up on stage and say, I've been married for a long time and I love my wife dearly. Exactly. Nothing. Cats and dogs are the most wonderful creatures on earth. Exactly. So if I said, it's my wife's fault that I'm here because she said, go be an a-hole somewhere else.
You can say asshole.
Oh, asshole. Yeah. I don't want to.
You might not get a job on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I know. But then now it's funny because somebody took the hit in the joke. Okay? And not necessarily everything's racist. And I find when I do the race material, blacks and Hispanics and Asians get it better than the whites.
Yes.
It's the whites that are looking around the room going,
they almost seem uncomfortable about it.
Is it okay?
My Starbucks joke, which really isn't a racist joke.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had to add that tagline onto it and make that part of the joke because they don't understand. Like, people want to be offended right now.
They want to take on somebody else's guilt.
And again, a lot of times it's the white guilt people that are causing all these problems.
Yeah.
It's not the blacks, it's not the Asians. It's the people, oh, we can't say that about them because they're underneath us. That's the racist part.
Right.
They could take a joke like anybody else can, because I'll tell you, when I do my Starbucks joke, and I'll tell you all in a second, when I do it in the city or in front of a big black crowd,
after that.
I get a huge laugh from them. And the joke basically, Starbucks has been in a lot of trouble in the news lately. They're trying to rebrand themselves. They came up with a new tagline, Starbucks, the only black thing we serve is our coffee.
Exactly. Somebody took the hit.
Yeah. And it's not the blacks, it's Starbucks.
Right.
It's, if you don't see that...
It's actually shining the light on Starbucks racism. That's what it does.
That is really all over you today.
But what? So that's the point. And people look for a word, and all of a sudden that they shut down. But meanwhile, I could do 4 Asian jokes, 4 Jewish jokes, and then I hit on blacks, and then now all of a sudden it's different. That's like, no. It's like Howard Stern said years ago, don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
If you're going to laugh at those 2 ethnic groups, you got to laugh at everybody.
And I know basically every comic has said it at some point. Somebody will laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. Like, oh, wait, that's not funny.
Oh, you can't make fun of transgender. You can't make fun of gays.
Chappelle has done it about... Actually, the funny thing was, it was about a rape joke that he made.
Yeah.
And he was scared to make the transgender joke because he said the transgender was sitting in the front row, laughing at everything, and he almost didn't want to do it because he didn't want to offend her because she was having such a good time. But then he goes, well, if I can't do it in front of her, then I can't do it.
Right.
And he did, and she got along with it. It was a one woman who didn't think the rape joke was funny, so she got upset and walked out. And again, is rape funny? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
But nothing is funny unless you put a spin on it. And a lot of people, a lot of comics are actually depressed, have issues going on, and the way they release themselves is through the jokes and through getting up and making other people laugh. And
turning tragedy into comedy, as Louis
it's the whole,
say,
it's the theater of pain, Motley Crue,
exactly.
tragedy, comedy, very closely related. Because if you sit there and focus on the negative and the tragedy of everything, it is very depressing.
Sure.
So sometimes you gotta laugh about it.
I'm going to give you a perfect example. Chris DiStefano.
Okay, you get out people. You're allowed.
What's that?
I said you get out of whoever you want. You're allowed.
Chris DiStefano has a bit. You go to YouTube. It's about 9/11, and he did it on 9/11, the anniversary.
Right.
It has all the triggers of going bad, all the signs that you could possibly use to make it a bad bit that people would get upset about. But it's brilliant.
Right. Because
it pertains to him, his father, his mother, and how he calls out the audience about, you want to laugh on 9/11? What are you, ISIS? He goes off on the crowd first, and then he brings it back to him. But it's a 9-minute piece, which is absolutely brilliant. Chris DiStefano. And
that's a ballsy move.
Yes, it is.
And
it was taped for the Comedy Cellar. That show they have, Comedy Cellar. So it's a beautiful piece. It's Chris DiStefano, 9/11. Just put in Chris DiStefano and enjoy the ride, because he is brilliant in this bit. So
it's funny, and I want to say, first of all, watch Paper Tigers by Bill Burr and Sticks and Stones by Dave Chappelle. Of the recent comedies specials I've seen, they're probably two of the best.
Yeah.
And the reason why they are is because they stopped. They stopped worrying about everything. They just went for it.
Yeah.
They said, pitch it. I'm swinging for the fences. I'm going after everyone. And they did. And they did a great job of it.
In Burr's defense, I don't think he ever cared about
no,
offending.
and the Philly incident was a perfect example. He got a Boston guy in Philly with a bunch of rowdy, drunken Philly people.
Yeah.
And when they were booing Dom Irrera off the stage and tried to do it to him.
They booed everybody.
He refused to leave, did his full, whatever it was, 11, 12 minutes.
Patrice, gone.
And attacked them.
Yeah.
He was wishing they had AIDS. He wanted them to get raped. He was calling them racist.
That's right. You have a fake hero at the top of a staircase.
Yeah. Your hero's Rocky because you're racist and you won't put a black guy up there. I mean, he went for their throats, and they loved it. They loved it.
Because...
And he said, I'm still selling my CDs after the show.
And then he would go, he had 15 minutes set, he goes, oh yeah, 9 minutes left. Did I get to the flyers yet? He just would go on and on.
And what was great is he knew enough about each of the teams he went after to pick a name.
He's a sports aficionado, actually. He knows all about sports. But
I forget what special it was.
He did his full time, and he got the most recognition for it. And by the way,
that blew him up. In my opinion, that blew up his career.
Yeah, the crowd loved him after.
Yeah,
they were like, "We're on board."
He got a standing ovation.
He put his balls on it. He did it.
I like too. There was like 3 minutes left. He goes, you know what? Let me try some jokes now. I just bought a computer recently. Like complete left turn on what he was doing. He had no intention of telling that joke.
No, not at all. But it was brilliant because he decided, let me just go the full 180 and just go at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're not doing this to me. No. I got 9 minutes, 8 minutes.
I forget the name of the special, but there was one special he did where I kind of feel like he went safe. And what I mean by that is it had to be like 2016 because he was going after Hillary and Trump, saying that Hillary was the devil and Trump's obviously racist and stupid.
All right.
And to me, he was playing it safe because he was playing both sides of the coin. Like he didn't seem like he wanted to insult anybody. If he made a Hillary joke, he immediately went right to a Trump joke.
All right.
But never really backed it up. Like Trump's obviously racist because he's stupid and he's really dumb, and Hillary's the devil because she kills people. But Trump, to me, that was playing it safe.
But he did that with George Bush because at one time he goes, I like that George Bush is president because it makes me feel like someday I could be president. Yes.
There was a comic, and I wish I knew his name, because at this point, like, Trump jokes are hack.
Right.
Everyone's kind of done it already. But there was one night at the Broadway Comedy Club. I don't know what it was. The crowd just didn't want to laugh.
Right.
It wasn't like nobody was funny with it. They just didn't want to laugh. But one guy got the biggest laugh of the night with a Trump joke. He was a black guy saying how his mother always told him, you can be whatever you want when you grow up. And he didn't believe it. Then, Obama was president. He goes, oh, I guess anybody could be president. Oh, she goes, see, anybody could be president. Then Trump got elected. He goes, oh, you mean anybody can be president? So it was funny. I messed it up, sorry, but, wasn't my joke. I'm not going to try to steal it from the guy.
He didn't claim it was, so. But here's the thing.
Chappelle brought it out, though, too. Like, the group right now you can't touch seems to be the transgenders. Yeah. The alphabet people.
Right.
But the ones that seem to be most offended by it I think, are the people who really even aren't the transgenders.
Right.
It's the people who feel you can't make fun of the transgenders. And again, if you're excluding somebody because of their belief, that's exactly what's wrong with this world.
Right.
If you're excluding someone because of their race, that's racist. So if you can say you can make fun of everybody except for the blacks or except for the Asians, that in and of itself is a racist comment.
Well, don't they say treat short people like people too? Everybody's a person.
Unless it's the angry
Everybody
bagel guy.
has, why wouldn't a blind guy want to be treated like a regular
Right.
person and blah blah blah, which I can't see. But
yeah, you're exactly right.
Once you start eliminating certain people, like for instance,
Treat everybody equally except for, and then once you say except for, and that list doesn't end, you're not treating them equally.
I have a bit in my act about people who are not smart. And I say, you ever stand behind somebody online at the grocery store, the bank, the drugstore, watch them operate and think, how does he survive on a daily basis? They're like a step before the mentally challenged. I call them pretards. And then I pause. Half the audience laugh, half doesn't.
Now, you used to get a killer laugh with that joke until everyone started getting offended by it.
Yeah, and then I said, well, and by the way, if you're offended by that made-up word, you're pretarded. I can't help you because it's made up. You're an asshole. You can't be mad at things that doesn't exist.
But how is that different from saying you might be a redneck if?
Exactly. Well, it's because the people that don't get it think I'm making fun of the mentally challenged.
Right.
Which is not true. I'm just being a play on words on a word you cannot use anymore, which is retarded. It's not accepted anymore. You can't say retarded. You got to say mentally challenged.
Right.
Okay. Well, if that's taken out of the vernacular, then I'm going to take it. I'm going to add a P and give it to people who are less than smart every day.
I don't know who's making these rules. Just like black people have to be called African American now. That to me is racist.
Right, because not every black guy is an African,
and not every African's black.
Right.
The guy who I work for real estate now, Douglas Elliman. I don't mention that enough too. But we did a photo shoot. The guy is African.
Okay.
He's tall, blonde hair, blue-eyed. He
and the bone through the nose. I think that's what really gave it away.
Well, the funny thing is he does some acting, and he gets cast as a German a lot because he looks like a German.
Oh, okay.
And he goes, nobody believes I'm African. And I laughed. I said, yeah, because people have this preconceived notion, if you're African, you have to be black.
Charlize Theron is African.
So there you go. So what does African American mean?
Right. Well, it's just supposed to designate where your roots are. But,
if you're Italian American, it's very simple. It means you have roots in Italy and America. Right. Doesn't mean you're necessarily a race or whatever. And same thing. If you're African American, it means you were born in Africa.
Right.
And now you moved to America and you're American. So where does the race come into that?
I never understood that broad stroke of the brush. You got to call them African American. Well, they were called. They were named after a hairstyle at one time. Afro Americans.
Yeah.
I find that offensive because in the 80s, white people weren't known as mullet Americans.
I was. They called me a mullet American. Yes, I used to have hair too.
Afro Americans. Afro Americans.
Right. And colored, I could see being, racist and, but what's wrong with black? And,
what is wrong with black?
They're not black. Well, I'm not white either. I'm pretty close to it because I'm pretty pale. But, if you put me next to,
black. Right.
There's a difference.
That's white.
Yeah.
That's flesh color.
Well, you can't say flesh either.
Because then it means black people don't have flesh.
Right. But, Jay's bringing up a good point.
What's that?
Why not just be American? No other country does this. But I don't care what you call yourself. But again, you can't call African American as a race when there's multiple races that live there.
Yeah.
And Chappelle went through it too, and he was saying, what was the group he got called in front of when he was doing the Chappelle show? Because he had the word faggot in it, and they said you can't say that. Do you remember that joke?
Oh yeah.
And it was it was basically, I guess, like the PC police, but it was like there was a term for it. But it's funny because he said, okay, no problem. He was walking out and he stopped. He goes, one more question.
Yeah.
Why can I use the N-word with impunity,
right,
but I can't say the F-word?
Right.
He goes, because Dave, you're not gay. He goes, yeah, I'm not an N either.
Right.
And that's the point. Right. It's like, well, so now you're only allowed to make fun of yourself?
Only allowed to make of the group and race that you are.
And again, now saying only black people could use the N-word, that means you're calling all black people the N-word. Because that's basically what they were saying. Well, you can't say
assumption, right?
You can't make gay jokes because you're not gay. Then you can't make N jokes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stop with this. Words are words. Again, like you said, they have no meaning.
Hold on a second.
It's the intent behind it.
No, my phone just went into.
So it's once you start being PC in comedy, comedy's done. Jerry Seinfeld himself said he won't work colleges anymore.
When a guy who talks about socks in the dryer can't work colleges,
yeah, how bad is that?
There's a problem.
How bad is it? See, because Seinfeld, when you think of controversial comics, Seinfeld is nowhere near. He's probably like one of the bottom on the list.
As far as that's like Brian Regan saying, I'm not going to work colleges anymore.
They were saying that some of the millennials think the Seinfeld show is inappropriate.
Oh no, they couldn't watch that.
So why? I mean.
I would love to put a group of millennials in a room and turn on the song "Short People" by Randy Newman.
Now, I would like to blame the millennials, but it's not just the millennials. There's a bunch of older people going after everybody too.
Because you know what I think, the older people are conforming
and
now
I
too.
apologize to my sister. What they call the Karens of the world.
Karen,
you can't say this. You can't. I'm calling I'm calling 911 because you offended me. And
everybody's become HR.
Yes,
basically. Everybody's human resources. Everybody knows better than you. Everybody knows your intent behind what you said. So they can take little sound bites.
Jay, very simple. I like my jobs, and I don't want to get fired from any of them.
What is he saying? What?
Why am I being PC instead of saying the N-word when I'm derogatory way?
Hold on. Paul's screwing up here. I'm trying to read the comments, and I can't.
Yeah, read them right here.
I know, but they're too far away for the blind man. All right, here we go. All right. Is he the only one talking?
No, there's a few people going back. See, Harry got it. They're retarded.
They're retarded. Exactly.
But again, people are getting fired for made-up words. Now I want to go back to Shane Gillis again. Now, the funny thing is, he felt he got fired because people felt he was conservative and pro-Trump.
Yeah.
So what he does is he goes out and does some stand-up and attacks Trump.
Right.
Including saying Trump's a funny president. He's one of the funniest presidents ever. In fact, it would be funny to me to watch him get assassinated.
Right.
Now,
that's too far.
I think that's too far. Again, because now you're calling for the death of a specific person.
It's our president.
And it's calling for the death of someone specific.
Exactly.
It's not, a generalization. But he feels that this is the way back on Saturday Night Live. And why would he think that? Because Saturday Night Live basically has just been an anti-Trump thing for the last few years. And Lorne Michaels, I'm upset with because this is the same guy that went on the news and defended Andrew Dice Clay.
Right.
And when someone goes, oh, he's misogynistic, everything he says is horrible, I can't say any of his jokes, this is the closest I could say, and then the guy said the joke, and I don't remember what it was.
Right.
And he went to Lorne, he goes, is that funny? He goes, not when you say it, but when Andrew says it, it's hysterical.
Right. Because
and had no problem putting him on.
Behind it. Well, there is a difference when people are just having conversation and there's a character involved where it's being used in a different fashion. In other words, it's being used as an acting kind of thing.
Right.
When Dice talks, anything he does like this, he's not valid.
He created that character.
Right.
Andrew Clay created the Dice Man.
Exactly. So it's a character, and that's what people can't get around sometimes. And he, once in a while, has to break character, let people know, don't be so stupid. But I've hung with Dice.
He actually had a breakdown over that because he was getting attacked from everybody. So it's not like this is a new thing.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, let comedy be comedy. If it's not funny, you don't watch it, they go away. There's a lot of comedians that have gone away because nobody was listening.
Number one, be funny.
Yeah.
If you're going to do stuff that's edgy and you're going to do stuff that's going to push buttons, at least be funny doing it. The problem with Shane, it wasn't funny on top of it.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with his credibility or if he is funny naturally.
And again, no comic's going to be funny 100% of the time.
I have no idea. The use of it was unnecessary.
Except Paul. Paul's funny 100% of the time.
The use of it was unnecessary. And by the time I use that word, you already know where I stand. Yeah. I'm just being a dick at that point. It's really just being pretarded. It's this typical. It's the typical stereotype jokes, and because you can't say, "Oh, he Jewed me down."
Yeah.
When it comes to talking somebody down,
but then what's the limit? If you can't make fun of anybody of a class you're not in, and then it gets to the point where you can't make fun of even the classes you are in, then you can't make fun of yourself.
Right.
What do you want to make fun of then? Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? Is that what it's going to be now? Is it going to be Sunday Kids Day jokes? And that's it? What time is it when an elephant sits on your fence? Time for a new fence. Waka waka. This is going to be stand-up comedy now. Is that what you really want?
That's evidently that's what they want, because anything that's edgy or I don't even say over the top, but anything that has any kind of credibility for that could possibly be taken differently. It's off.
And both said it too, because Chappelle said that was his last special, jokingly, and Bill Burr was like, "By the way, this is the last time you're going to see me on stage," because they were making the jokes that nobody was allowed to make.
Well, I heard Jim Jeffries say he goes, the fact that Shane got fired is ridiculous, because then you got to take all the sketches that have Asian people, the Samurai Butcher, the Samurai Tailor, John Belushi's bit, when Mike Myers was a Japanese game show host. You got to take all that stuff and wipe it off. If you're going to be that anal and that PC,
you can't have Eddie Murphy host.
You got to wipe it all out. You want to talk about kid touching? Nope, you can't. You got to wipe it all out. And it's just. Is kid touching funny? No, it's not funny. But when Chappelle says, "I'm no pervert, but I would have done Macaulay Culkin,"
Macaulay Culkin's where it was
because the kid was cute. You know he wouldn't have done it.
And the Michael Jackson thing too, because I don't think Michael Jackson did, but if he did, it's Michael Jackson.
It's Michael Jackson. She goes, and I'm not making light of the fact that people have been molested, but there was no Michael Jackson. Yeah. So he was just being a dick about that particular part of it. And people are like, "Oh, I can't believe he thinks that child molestation is okay." He's not saying that, you jackass.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to spin some politics into this. His joke was funny in context. Yeah. The fact that Jeffrey Epstein died and they closed the case and let real pedophiles walk free, even though he released names, that to me is offensive.
No, but that's okay.
It's really okay. Doing it is okay. Making jokes about it, oh my God, that's what.
Oh my God, I can't believe he said that.
And Jay, you're absolutely right. People claim they're offended because they want attention.
Right.
Harry, but it's getting to the point where you can't even make fun of yourself.
Yeah.
David Byrne?
David Byrne.
Is he the Asian comic? It's something Byrne.
Steve
Byrne was saying how his show was. They were saying his show was offensive because he typecast the Asian mother. He goes, but that's my mother, and she's just being her.
She was exactly
didn't do anything.
That. Right. Exactly.
No, I don't think. To Mike Battisto, no, I don't think Dice Clay would have made it now. And it's funny because him and Roseanne Barr are on tour, and if they weren't who they were,
on Friday.
If they weren't who they were, there was no way they'd make it right now.
Oh no!
But I don't think any of the. If you go back and talk about who the greatest comics of all time were, I don't see any of them making it to today's climate starting out.
But I think what Dave and what Bill did is going to it broke the ice.
I think that paved the way for Eddie Murphy.
People to start waking up and going, yeah, you know what, we gotta relax.
Because now it's pretty much official that Eddie Murphy is coming back for stand-up.
Yes, he is.
And
he's hosting SNL.
I don't know if he could have picked a worse time, but at the same time, we need him.
I know.
But we need Eddie Murphy. We don't need that PC guy that was on the 40th anniversary special that got offended by stuff. We need the delirious and raw Eddie Murphy.
Who backed Bill Cosby, and then later on at the Kennedy Honors, he friggin' ran over him.
We need the Eddie Murphy that went on Johnny Carson when they were cheering. He goes, "Shut up!"
Yeah.
You know, that's Eddie Murphy. The one that doesn't care.
Right.
And would go for it.
Right. The guy that didn't second guess himself. That's the guy we want.
But again, I mean, does Saturday Night Live still put him on as a host now? Because he's not being hypocritical?
Well,
he's made fun of everybody.
Yeah, he's had
everyone.
He's had the honeymooners be gay. He's had Mr. T be gay.
Made fun of Italians. He put whiteface on.
Right.
Which was one of the best SNL skits ever.
Just take the newspaper. Take it.
Yeah.
Take it. What?
Okay.
What? It was a whole white privilege, which is hysterical.
And he's done it in several of his movies. He made himself fat when he really wasn't, so he's fat shaming.
That's offensive.
Because when he was fat, he wasn't cool.
Being offended.
He was cool when he was in shape. Right? The fat Eddie Murphy wasn't getting the women.
Right.
So, I mean, where do you draw the line? You can't if you do it that way.
No.
Don't attack, you want to say about a specific person, a call for the death or injury of someone specific. Okay.
Yeah.
To me, that's a good line. But once you start pulling that line back, then there's just nothing you can do or say.
I hate quoting other comics, but I got to because Bill Burr said it best. He goes, well, if you're going to look back 5 years on somebody and what they said, or 15 years, let's go back to your Twitter and your text and see what you've said, because nobody's perfect. Everybody has done. I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a millennial. You've all said stuff that if anybody found out about it, you'd be up S Creek.
Especially if taken out of context.
Right. Exactly. Do I defend Donald Trump when he said, grab him by the pee? No, it's a ridiculous statement. But let's go back to that for just an example as to how people want to be outraged by something that they really could give two shits about, to be honest.
But again, you're talking about a billionaire playboy bragging about what it's like to be a billionaire playboy at a party with groupies who said they let you do whatever they want. You can even grab them by the pee.
Well, here's the thing.
And again, now
we don't know what happened prior to the recording starting.
But you don't even know if that's true or not, because there's two guys bragging. And girls, you're going to be shocked by this. Sometimes guys exaggerate.
Yeah.
It's been known to happen.
We have a tendency to say, if I've had more pussy, you can shake a stick at.
Yeah. And take on top of that it was a consenting adult, the way he worded it.
Right.
As opposed to a child who can't give consent.
Right.
That Epstein was providing for all these politicians and Hollywood stars that are getting away with it.
And
the guy from Nickelodeon
happened, I had a rant on Facebook. I took it down since. But I said, believe it or not, your husband has said worse. Believe it or not, your husband or your boyfriend has thought worse.
So was your girlfriend or your wife.
Just because it wasn't recorded doesn't mean you didn't think it or say it. I'm tired of the hypocrisy, and it's not defending Trump. It's just the fact that if you're going to use examples of I'm outraged and you think you're so perfect, and like Bill says, go back 15 years.
Is equality equal?
No.
Because you've been in the comedy scene, you've been around bars and everything for a long time.
Justin Trudeau wears blackface.
Yeah.
Blackface.
What about the mayor from Virginia? He's still the mayor.
But he accepted the fact that he was wrong and he apologized. That didn't work for some people. That didn't work at all.
They lie about Kavanaugh doing all this stuff because all the women came forward and said that they lied, except for Ford, who her story didn't line up because the store she went to didn't exist till 2 years after the party that she said happened. But they went after Kavanaugh for forever for something that happened 30 plus years ago. Then when Biden's basically molesting children on stage, that's just how he is. He's old school.
Oh, that's creepy.
Well, maybe Kavanaugh, that's just the way he is.
Right.
Why? And again, why is it okay for some and not others?
It's a double
and here's where it comes in. Louis C.K. loses tens of millions of dollars or whatever that he invested into that show.
About to come out.
Yeah, he invested into a show, gets basically chastised, thrown off the comedy stage for a while. Because he invited women back to his hotel room and they accepted.
Right.
Then he asked if he could masturbate in front of them, which they said yes, and then he did it.
It's permission.
Ooh.
Is it weird? Yes. Is it a bit creepy? Yeah.
But he was known to be a creep.
What?
Sarah Silverman said that he used to ask her, and sometimes like, "No, what's wrong with you?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, let me see."
She said, "Yeah."
So he was never forceful about it. But she said it was never forceful about it. She said they used to ride the elevator naked and joke about it, but he never pushed anything. He never pushed it. So if you're in the industry and you knew he was like that, and you went back, I mean, why are you offended after the fact? They said, "Oh, well, because they were aspiring comedians and he could have ruined their career." I don't know if I fully believe that. But then, okay, let's say that's true. Then why is T.J. Miller still working in comedy?
Yeah.
He was accused of a lot worse.
Right.
A lot worse, including assault.
Right.
And sexual assault.
Why is Don Lemon still on the air? He was accused.
Right.
He was accused of groping a grown man. I'm sorry, you were accused and nothing happened to you?
Wow.
Oh, wow. What station do you belong to?
What political leaning is he?
Wow.
So again, is there politics involved in this or not? I have to believe there is.
Saying. I don't want to get into it, but we could all see we're not stupid. We're not stupid. We can see that things get like really lightened up or not talked about.
Yes, you're right. I forgot about Don Lemon.
Yeah, Don Lemon. It was a flat out, and there was somebody who saw a witness.
Yeah,
there was a witness. Nothing to see here. Close the doors. Close the books.
And Jay's right. Women talk about dick worse than men talk about the pig.
Yes, they do.
And they do. And I was going to say, too, because you've been around bars enough that you've seen, women have no problem going in and grabbing another woman's boobs.
No problem.
We're not asking, grabbing a guy by the crotch, but it's okay because they want it. Well, where's the consent? Right. Where's the permission?
There's none. But it doesn't matter.
And so there's not equality there.
Because you shouldn't be offended. That's the point. It's light.
Not that anybody should be able to go around and grab anybody.
No.
But you can't complain and then do it.
Right. It's hypocrisy at its best. I want to talk about a benefit I have coming up.
Yeah. Well, I was getting to spin into that. I just wanted to throw in too about the hypocrisy because I was having this argument at work today with the environment.
Yeah.
You have people leaving school with permission, which now again just makes it. You couldn't do the protest on Saturday; it had to be on Friday, whatever day it was. Fine, go ahead. But did you see the mess they left behind?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to protect the earth, so by throwing my garbage everywhere, don't you with the straw. You're ruining this world.
You're ruining this world because you got a plastic straw.
If you're gonna do it, do it. Be about it, live it, pursue it, drive your Prius, go around and clean up the beaches and do this and that, and then I'll listen to you a little more. When you're throwing garbage all over the place and laughing as you're holding a sign that we're going to die from global warming, you're kind of losing your argument with me there, because now I don't believe you.
Because if there were 1 million kids marching on a Saturday, I just might believe your integrity behind them.
But why are you laughing, saying that we're going to die of old age and they're going to die of global warming? That's not funny. That should be you should be upset by that.
It's like AOC saying the world's going to end in 12 years and she's got a 30-year plan to help it.
Remember the 80s?
She's got a 30-year plan to fix it.
Yeah.
Do you know math at all?
No, she doesn't. She wants to stop eating burgers so we can kill off the cows and stop the cows from farting to save the environment too. So. Yeah. But remember the 80s with the ozone layer?
Yeah.
We were all going to burn. It was going to be hundreds of degrees within a couple of years because it's a big hole in the ozone that was irreparable. Right. What happened to the hole?
Yeah.
Kind of went away, didn't it?
Yeah. What happened to the recession?
But in the 80s, we had till the 90s, or we were all going to burn to death. In the 90s, we had till, Al Gore was saying we had 10 years left or whatever it was back then, and yet somehow we're still here. And again, scientists have proved and disproved this global warming thing. I don't know if I believe in global warming as much as I believe in climate change, which is a cyclical thing. Right. Do we have an effect on it? Yeah. If we're mowing down
have a slight effect on it, yes.
We're putting emissions up there, we have an effect on it, but not, I think we give ourselves too much credit.
Well, that's what Colin says, yeah.
So,
if you think putting a paper cup or a plastic cup not in the garbage is affecting the ozone layer or whatever.
These people talking about global warming have several mansions because you need multiple houses and using all this electric and your jets to...
Right.
That's another thing I was arguing about. Why do people have to fly in their private jet to go to this meeting when you could teleconference?
Right.
And save the environment by not flying your jets over there. Y2K... Well, Y2K did almost end us, and people don't realize that. Yeah, Al Gore was saying all the polar bears would be dead in 2012. Y2K, we'll talk about this real quick, then we'll get into your stuff. Y2K, there was countries that had old technology.
Right.
And their computers were going to crash when it went from 99 to 2000.
Right.
Now, if their computers crashed, it was going to mimic an attack, because all the computers went down at one time, and it would automatically launch their missiles.
Oh boy!
That was that was the worry. That was the real, true story of the big fear about about the turn of the century and how the world was going to end in 2000.
It just clocks to zero.
So the countries with money went over, even with the enemies, and they paid to upgrade the computer systems, so nuclear missiles didn't just launch all over the place.
Nobody got hurt. Yep.
That was a real threat, and it was fixed well in time. Because I think everybody realized that, nuclear missiles just launching on their own is not a good thing. Because most of them were probably pointed at us. So.
I remember I performed at McGuire's the year.
Yeah?
It was 2000. Yeah, it turned to 2000. And we were like, okay, it's the end of the world in 10, 9. And then we all stood there and we go, okay, Happy New Year. I guess we're still here.
Almost disappointing at that point. But all right, so I think we kind of touched enough on the topics, and again, don't miss those. If you like comedy, watch Sticks and Stones. And
my opinion, Bill Burr was better than.
I almost think you have to watch Chappelle first, then watch Bill Burr.
Yeah,
it's almost like a part one, part two.
I just think, it's just an opinion. I just think Bill's is more thought out.
Yeah.
And he goes for the women.
But Chappelle is genius.
He goes for the women. He goes for presidents' wives, and oh my God!
One of my favorite. I'll say this before we get to the thing. It had nothing to do with any of that. He's like, I've been in Europe for a couple of weeks now, and you know what? You're all fat too. I thought that was great.
Yeah, Bill did his special in London.
It took me. I didn't expect that.
You're all fat too.
Yeah.
I
didn't expect that joke from him.
He's great.
Came out of left field. It was funny.
Great.
But Paul.
I want to explain why I'm dressed like a schlamangi here.
You've been you've been doing comedy for quite some time.
Yes.
And you've been doing animal rescue for quite some time.
That's why I'm dressed
so
like that.
why don't you explain what's going on and what you have coming up?
I have a very special show, and I'm calling in all my favorites from friends and comedians to come support this one-time event. It's the other one, the other flyer. And there it is. This is Rich Guzzi's Comedy Hypnotist Show. It's at Governor's at McGuire's. And if you want tickets, they're $25, 2-drink minimum. Go to richguzzi.com. It's going to be, I'm just going to do like 20 minutes, and Rich is taking over.
Now, again, just to explain it, Paul's a national headliner. He's a real deal.
And I'm giving up the seat.
If he's giving up the stage, that just tells you the quality of entertainment you're going to get that night.
Rich is doing me a huge favor. He's flying himself in. He's doing the show for free. And I called in this big ticket item, which is Rich Guzzi, and he will have them doing adult things that night that they wouldn't normally do in public. So, like I said, it's going to be a great show. It's nothing you've seen on Long Island in a long time. That's why I want to. It goes toward the adoption center, which is the 501c I belong to. And the money goes towards spay, neuter, house, feed, medical, lot of medical bills we're trying to cover, and foster and adoption. And like I said, it's just going to be me up front, and Rich is taking over. I want comedian friends to come down and support it.
I plan on being there.
And if you, here's another thing I'm going to pitch. If you have a business or any kind of raffle that you could donate to this cause for that night, get in touch with me on Facebook. Actually, just email me at paulbondcomedy@gmail.com. paulbondcomedy@gmail.com, and let me know what you got to offer, and we'll make arrangements to get it. Hopefully, I'm getting BAB involved. Going to get on News 12 and really push this thing. It's on a Sunday, and it's Columbus Day weekend, so nobody works Monday, or most people are off on Monday, so you can come out, and it's a 7:30 show. So it's for a great cause, and like I said, I do this nonstop. That's why I'm dressed like this. I'm out rescuing. We just had 2 animals come back from the vet. I wanted to make sure they got back in their cages and/or homes correctly without hurting themselves. If you want to adopt a cat or a dog, please get a hold of me as well. I'm on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. I promote everything there. The Goomba Guru is coming. That's right, Rich Guzzi.
So to any of my sponsors or places like Effin' Groovin' or some of the other business owners I know that listen, if you got gift certificates or something you could donate, it's definitely going to a worthwhile charity. And
yes.
I haven't seen a good comedy hypnosis show in a while. I've been to a couple of cruises that had it, but in college I went to this one. I wonder if it was him. I wonder how long he's been doing it. There was this guy, he was really good, and like I went there like in a bad mood, thinking it's gonna suck. Had nothing to do with the show. I just was in one of those moods, and I went there. I had tears coming out of my eyes, which I can't say the last time I ever had that happen at a comedy show.
Very good. No, Rich is really good. I've seen some of the clips he has up. By the way, if you can't remember my email, go to richguzzi.com, go to his contact, and say, listen, I got some raffle gifts for Paul. Any way you can get a hold of me for the raffles, I want to make this a big event. Of course, there's going to be a 50-50. And for you Polish people, that is not the odds of winning.
Oh, no, it is. You win or you lose. 50-50.
Yeah, you do. 50-50. It's a good day between you and me. But it is going to be a fun show. It's at McGuire's, Governor's at McGuire's in Bohemia, 7:30, October 13th, a Sunday night. And all the money, by the way, all the money. This is one of those events where there's no paperwork, no red tape. It goes directly toward bills. It goes directly toward what we do. So there's no horse crap about this. This is we take it very seriously, okay? And it's nonstop. It's every day. It's actually very heartbreaking a lot of times, but it's very gratifying when you see you can get a home for some of them and/or get them the medical care that they need. Right. So that's it for that. That's that plug.
Yeah.
Here's my other plug. I'm going into my plugs. Yeah. I teach a stand-up comedy class now.
Wow, you do?
Yes, I do.
How would I take that?
I have no idea. No. Actually, it's at the Actors Workshop, and it's in Levittown. And you could join at any point in my class. It started last week. And I actually had some students that come to I coach 101.
Right.
And they came to that first class. And they said, this is nothing like any other class that they have taken on Long Island.
Right.
Which made me feel good because...
And I know that just from taking your workshops and your one-on-ones, I know you teach a lot differently than
I
anyone
never
else
tried to
work
change
with.
you as a comic. I never try to change your style. But what I will do is tap into your core
Right.
and get the stuff out that's real to you. And that's what Frank Fiella, who's actually does the Laughter Saves Lives, he goes, that's what I realized what's different about you is you really tap into the element of the person. And that's really, really cool.
Well, that's what I said I liked about you right away, too, is that you brought out the best of me in me.
Yeah.
You didn't give me your act or how to...
But you got better and better because you got more confidence. And this is at the Actors Workshop. I think it's theactorsworkshop.com, and right in Levittown on Wandsworth Avenue. Yeah, Wandsworth Avenue. It's a 6-week cyclical course. It's $295, but there's a graduation class where we perform. Every student performs for their friends and family at the studio. It's really a cool thing. It's great for public speaking. It's great if you just want to find humor in life.
Yeah.
It's great overall. And a lot of the students actually, one guy I think had an epiphany and he said, join Paul's class and free yourself from yourself.
Yeah.
Because he really got deep into his core, and which is great because that's what it's about. The audience knows when you're BSing them as a comic, and that's what I try to teach. And evidently, the first class went very well, and the reviews were really well. So
now,
I'm very happy about
obviously, this is new for you, so I haven't taken this course, but I have worked with you as a coach.
Well, I've been coaching for like
And
7 years.
it's
personally.
I don't even know how to describe it. If you have any interest in doing comedy whatsoever, it's definitely worth the shot because
30-year veteran of comedy, toured with Jim Brewer for a couple of years. I was on Metallica Icon on MTV, The Roast of Dennis Leary on Comedy Central with Jim Brewer. Jim Brewer definitely was a vehicle for me for a while, and I love him for it. It gave me experiences I could never, ever forget. Also, I've done a couple of sitcoms, pilots. I've shot a couple of sketch shows with Jim. And I am currently working on a reality show for myself.
I know a comic that just started taking acting lessons, by the way.
Oh, I think
so if you're interested.
I think I'm very close to him. I mean, friendship-wise and
distance.
right there. And it's at the Actors Workshop as well. So Chris Cardona is...
he's a great instructor.
And
I thank Chris for that. Brings out you and you, which I like his methods as well.
Well, that's what I said about Frank in the movie he's in. Something about the family, and I watched the trailer and I looked at Frank and I go, I got to be honest with you, I was watching everybody else act.
Yeah, which
Chris
I
believed his character.
The best way to act is not to act.
Not to act at all.
Yeah, nobody should know you're acting.
So that was what Frank did. And when Frank came to my class, who I also coached as a stand-up, and he said, this is the most different thing I've ever experienced as far as getting material out of me. So I tell you what, man, we came up with some real deep stuff from people and made it funny right on the spot.
I'm going to have to try to stop in 1 week.
So tomorrow night is the next class, and I'm very happy about it. I'm very thrilled, and all the students were as well, which makes it...
Oh, sure.
It's cool.
But unfortunately, we are out of time.
Oh, my God!
I want to thank you again for coming down.
Thank you for
It's always a pleasure.
Me.
And basically, the message is lighten up and take Paul's comedy course.
That's right.
That's all I can tell you.
Take my comedy and come to the Animal Rescue Benefit at Governors and McGuire's. Go to richguzzy.com for your tickets.
And South Shore Theater this Saturday.
Please. It's a Sunday early show, 7:30. And like I said, every penny, no BS, no paperwork, no, it's got to go through this and that. No, the money is put in and taken care of for the animals that we rescue and we help. My website is paulbondcomedy.com. And by the way, here's another quick thing, okay? And I hate to be a plugmeister, but I have a way of quitting smoking without going to the Juul. The vaping is really bad, we found out. Go to my website and go to Triggerette. I'm not BSing you here. This is how I quit. I actually came up with a way to quit smoking without any stress and without any drugs at all. And it sounds like BS, but trust me when I tell you, people have tried it this way, and it works because it's at your own pace. So get off those vape machines. Vape me again.
Once again, thanks, Paul, and we will see you next week.
Love ya.
Take care.